Hi, welcome to Bring Bricks. I'm your host, Neil. This is week 4 of our Sith Temple on Malacore. We've been working on it 3 weeks. This is going to be our 4th, and we are going to continue on building up all that support. We need to get those support walls in there because everything is going to be based off of weight and distribution. The bottom section comes apart into 6 different sections, and we just got a lot of work to do on it. But before we get started with that, I got to send this little man out a happy birthday. Sorry it's a little late, kiddo, but I did notice you put together this awesome Lego set, Jurassic Park. You know, that's an adult set, man, so good job. Thelma told me that you put it together all by yourself, and for being 9, you know, I got to give you credit there. You know, you keep building like that, you're going to be a master builder in no time at all. So what you need to do is bug your parents to go hang out with Uncle Neil. Tell them to bring you up. But anyway, let's get into this build. All right, so this week we are going to continue on with the build. We are going to focus on creating this solid wall, and then that one, and then we got that one. I've already went ahead and kind of focused on these plating pieces and gotten some more done on those. I actually spent some time kind of decorating them a couple times and wasn't happy all 4 times, so I popped it back off. I'll figure that out, you know, time will tell. You know, practice makes perfect, like always. So we're going to continue on with this build. We're going to get this structure up. We're going to get these 4 main walls up. They're going to be the main support, and continue on. Then we got the substructure that needs to go on inside here, and then we can continue on with the next decking once we get that part. Plus we've got all this crap that goes up front to get in here, and we just got a lot of work, so let's get to it.
Alright, so we're putting in these support walls here. We have 3 more to go. We've got the front one in place already, which is the door section. These 3 other support walls will be more decorative. Now, Lego math dictates that this is going to have 1 extra stud in the middle of it, so it is an uneven number here, which allows me to build stronger. And I have to keep that in mind. And just like past builds before, we're going to put our floor in, at least start to get it past a certain point. That way I'm not trying to cram my fingers into these tiny little grooves to fill it in. It's already done. So these support walls are going to hold the majority of the strength of what's going to be on the next deck. Building at these angles this large has to be strong, so I'm taking my time and thinking about it. So we're going to use that dark red as a accent point because I'm using blacks and dark grays as my main colors, accenting it with light red, dark red, and light gray. All those Sith light colors that we like to use. And because it's a Sith temple, it has to be dark. Now we are going to install LED lights into these. To kind of make them glow and set them up. Onto the back wall. Now as a tribute to the Sith, I have decorated these 3 main walls with Sith Lords. Kind of like a statue deal, if you will. So of course we've got Malik, and we have Revan, and we got the Planet Eater, Darth Talon, just to decorate the sides of this temple. Now here on the back of the temple, we never got to see shots of this. We didn't get too many side shots of the whole thing either. So we're going to keep it very similar in our style. That way it all matches, same building techniques. But like I said, this is not a doorway into the temple like the front entrance is. As I decorate the sides of the Sith Lords. Like I said, red LED lights are going to go into this in these areas to just accent it. At least that's what my plan is. So as you can see, we are starting to install our LED lights. I try to keep enough space in between stuff to make sure that they fit and will shine well. I really think these red lights in here should really pop it off pretty nicely. Time will tell though. Are you ready? Are you ready to light it up? Let's see what it's going to look like. How about now?
Well, my friends, we have run out of time this week, but we've moved along, I think, quite decently. When you're building large, you know, the process takes a little while. But what we got done is not one, not two, but three of the retaining walls. We have our entrance point, and then we just got like a support wall, and a support wall. Now, I did kind of decorate the outside of them because I'm not looking to come back to these too often, but they are not done. Neither is the entrance. It's just started. Like I said, this is a rough draft. We're just kind of getting going and feeling things out and getting a rough idea on how it's going to feel. Like these Egyptian style pillars that you see at the beginning of the first episode, before they fall through the ground, they're sticking out of the ground, they're quite tall. So these aren't finished either. You know, the tops just pop right off, and I'm going to build them so they come apart so they're easily movable. But the temple is strong. You know what I mean? These are just temporary standbys here. We're going to start working on that in the next episode. We need to put our support in next. On top of that, we need to load and test the geyser before we move any more further, while I still have access to it. Because once I start building in here, I won't have access to this anymore. I'm going to fill it to capacity. When I display it, I will use it sparingly, but I will have an access point to be able to add more fluid to this when we're putting it together if I need to. I always have a sneak little quick way of it being able to add things to stuff. On top of that, we're going to equip it with a couple little fans on the inside just to help keep this cool. Because you are running heat and it is built inside a Lego machine. So I'm going to have a little bit of air movement on the inside. You'll never know it. But that will also get started in the next episode. But we got our LED lights in, and let's go ahead and take a look at what we got done. All right, now this is just kind of decorative, Egyptian style. This is a pyramid. On top of that, I'm giving it that Sith feel to it. You don't see the sides too often, so I can kind of go on my own context of what's going on here. So I put a Sith Lord and red lights in there, and like a statue kind of deal. And then when we get to this, the back side, we got a mini kit, some more red lights, a couple more Sith Lords attached to the wall. It's a Sith temple. We never did get to see the back side of this very well either. And then the third side. And of course we finished up and added the lights to the front, which I'm getting ready to get to now. Alright, and there she is. We got Ezra, Maul, and a little cheesy mouse guy eating some cheese inside the temple. Alright, my friends, like I said, this is a work of love, an art project. I'm putting a lot of love into this, so I'm taking my time with it. I'm trying to not rush through anything. Like I said, I had worked on one of these panels. I had decorated it 4 different times already and took it apart just because I just didn't like how it was feeling. You know, I got to feel it. It's got to look original. It's got to look like it did from the show as well. And I get to ad-lib to it a little bit as well. So we got a lot going into this, and we're just kind of getting started. So If you like this kind of content, go ahead and hit that like button. It lets me know I did a good job, and it helps the algorithm suggest this kind of content to anybody that might be into it. Hey, you got a good idea for this build, maybe a future build, or just want to talk Lego, Star Wars, or anything else? Go ahead and put that in the comments down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And of course, we cannot grow here as a family unless you smash that subscribe button. It takes you a mere half second, but for me, it really does mean an awful lot. And I'll see you here next time on Breaking Bricks.